Africans, viewers from across the world. My name is Smart Mado Ajaja. I'm the convener of Open Nigeria and Africa Unite and the anchor of Nigeria Now at ONN and the Nightingale Radio International. This is a special public announcement for Nigerians, and it is about a statement issued on the state of Nigeria by concerned civil society organizations in Nigeria. The people in Nigeria are hungry and they are dying from stampedes from across the country. Yes, hell is being let loose in Nigeria. And I will read the communique or the statement in a few seconds. Yes, Nigerian misleaders have become pharaohs. They don't listen to anything because they are destined for destruction. Yes, they act out of control without recourse for consequences. So much is going on. Now the question is how long, how much more will Nigerians take before they wake up? All right. How long shall they kill our prophet? Why we stand aside and look? Those are the questions. Yes. Time for Nigerians to stand up is here. All right. The full statement as released and signed by various civil society organizations in Nigeria. All right, this release was made available on December 26th, 2024. Now, it said, call for joint federal and state government committee to extend immediate and adequate support to families and survivors of hunger-induced mass deaths in food distribution stampedes by the Coalition of Nigerian Civil Society Organizations, CNCSO. The member organizations involved include the New Nigerian Movers, NNM, Good Citizens for Peace and Progress Initiative International, GCPPI, Save Nigeria Mega Alliance, SDMA, Volunteers for Fundamental Change in Nigeria, VFCN, NADECO USA, Community Structure Foundation for Good Governance, CSF, Reformation Movement of Nigeria, RMN, National Rescue Congress, NRC, and affiliate members in Nigeria and worldwide. Now it is in full. We, the members of the above civil society organizations, hereby express our heartfelt grief and condolences to all families of the victims and casualties of the recent food distribution stampedes in parts of the country. We are particularly shocked and grieved by the fact that the 3 recorded stampedes resulting from the well-meaning intention of public-spirited Nigerians to provide Christmas food succor to less privileged citizens all occurred within a mere 4 days of each other between Wednesday, December 18th and Saturday, December 21st in Ibadan, Oyo State, Okija community in Anambra State, and the Holy Trinity Catholic Church in Maitama, Abuja, respectively. Our coalition of concerned civil society organizations wishes to emphatically state that these horrific and avoidable calamities, which have turned what ought to be a joyous Christmas anticipation to fountainless sorrow, irreplaceable loss, and agony to families of the casualties and the injured, especially those who lost several children or relatives to avoidable calamities, are direct consequences of the devastating effects of economic hardship, government failure, and multidimensional poverty, which the inhumane anti-poor economic policy of the present Tinubu and APC-controlled federal government has plunged the nation and good citizens of Nigeria into in nearly the last 2 years of its rule. These mortifying incidents are a stinging rebuke on the inhumane, poverty promoting misrule, not only of the center, but government of Nigeria at all levels. The Tinubu APC administration, in particular, however, has sent to unprecedented depths of poverty, unemployment, and desperation as the economic downturn that came in the wake of its inauguration in May of last year has left countless individuals and families without access to basic necessities as food, healthcare, and shelter, complicated by an intractable plague of historic inflation malaise. Despite repeated warnings and pleas to alleviate the federal government toxic socio-economic policies through protests and strikes by organized labor, the government has continued to ignore the agonies of the citizenry, fail to provide relief, and improve access to medical care, leaving vulnerable citizens to suffer in silence, succumb in frightening numbers across the country to daily plunging low life expectancy. The latest statistics indicate that thousands of citizens are losing their lives daily to insecurity unleashed by multiple sources: poverty related issues, malnutrition, lack of medical facilities, timely medical attention, and suicides. This staggering toll is a heartbreaking testament to the human cost of economic neglect, government inaction, and the lack of political will to tackle high placed waste, wrong fiscal priorities, revenue misappropriation, and corruption, the deadly fangs of which are fixed on the nation's financial and economic bloodstreams. We are outraged and devastated by the loss of whole human lives of Nigerians across our country during this Christmas season because of their hunger induced desperation. Because of their hunger induced desperation. Yes. To have a mere 5 kilogram bag of rice shared by religious leaders and philanthropists owing to the government's failure to address basic needs, culminating in economic crisis that gave room to these catastrophic consequences. It has therefore become imperative for our coalition to demand that immediate action is taken by the government at all tiers to provide reliefs and support to those in need, especially those evidently at the bottom rung of the poor and underprivileged strata of society. These demands include, but are not limited to, the following: provide emergency financial aid to struggling families and individuals, identified through reliable and corrupt-free mechanisms. Increase funding for social services, including food banks, subsidized healthcare, housing system, cottage-regulated small and medium cluster trading, production and exchange of goods and services. 3. Vigorously research unveil and galvanize and implement policies to stimulate economic growth and job creation. The federal and various state governments of the victims should also expeditiously adequately rehabilitating financial and material compensation to the families of the victims, casualties, and survivors alike. In conclusion, our coalition passionately urges all Nigerians to join us in calling for urgent actions by government of all tiers to address the current blighting widespread poverty and hunger crisis in Nigeria. As citizens, we should not stand idly by while our neighbors and friends who survived the stampede suffer in the hospital without tangible and far-reaching government support to them hereafter or cease prematurely before they have overcome their sudden and unforeseen misfortunes. Thank you. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria in brotherhood of one another's keeper, irrespective of tribe, tongue, and religion. We are. Signed by Elder Samuel Olaleye, New Nigerian Movers. Number 2, Honorable Charles Darlington, Good Citizens Initiative. Number 3, Comrade Tony Akeni, Save Democracy Mega Alliance. Number 4, Dr. Lloyd Uku, President, Nadeco USA. Number 5, Oloye Adegboyega Adeniji, Volunteers for Fundamental Change in Nigeria. Number 6, Engineer Gambo Daniel Balarabe, Community Structure Foundation for Good Governance. Number 7, Comrade Samuel Ajayi, Reformation Movement of Nigeria. And number 8, Pastor Emmanuel Ihim, National Rescue Congress. This is the end of this report. Now, for Nigerians who have been gripped by fear all these years because they have been stripped of their basic human rights, something that looks like a reprieve is coming your way, because as citizens of Nigeria, we have a right to protest. We have a right to our basic human rights. We have a right to our citizenship of Nigeria. And now, because we have a rogue government that cannot protect those rights, we have devised means and mechanisms to enforce and assert those rights as the need arises. Now, hear this heartwarming news for you. All right. Save Democracy Mega Alliance Day. All right. Rise early. The journey begins soon. As the camping hordes of political felons ditch the people for oppressors of like talons, so true patriots and liberation phenoms must flock together to defeat their venoms. All right, SDMA National Council. Now, our victory starts with SDMA yellow page. This is the interesting part of it. You see, Nigerians have for a very long time been silenced by our security forces who are Nigerians but sadly behave like aliens from another planet that descend on earth to hunt Nigerians down for raising their fingers and then asking questions in line with democratic ethos and in line with their basic human rights. Nigerians have no right anymore to question their leaders, to question their government. Yes, and this is at variance with democratic practices and principles across the world. But here is a heartwarming news for Nigerians, and I'm going to read it. There's something that we have created that the people who are organizing this thing have decided to put together. Yellow page, all right, that will document every security operative in Nigeria and tied to their activities. Yes, those who hunt and kill Nigerians because they raise their hands, they will be properly documented. So when all said is done, they will face consequences for their actions. So today, if you are a police, if you are a soldier, listening to me, this is very important to you right now because you have taken laws into your hands for a very long time in Nigeria. You have used our bullets that we paid for, with taxpayers' money, the guns we purchased, and for you to defend our territorial integrity. You have turned those guns on us on behalf of our oppressors, your own oppressors too, the oppressors who deny you police uniform, the oppressors who deny you army uniforms, the oppressors who deny you army boots, police boots with which you should be doing your work, that you now have to make provision. You buy your uniforms, you buy your suit, your boots, you buy all most of your operational equipment. Now, here is the news for you. So every Nigerian you kill, don't think that nobody is seeing you. We are going to record it against you. But let me just read from here. All right. Okay, our victory starts with the SDMA yellow page, a nationwide register of all civil rights activists, yes, advocates of good governance, artists, vloggers, bloggers, and truth in action, religious leaders of all faiths. Yeah, they believe that an injury to all is an injury. Injury to one is an injury to all. And now this directory will have all activists, all those who speak up against the evil that has been plaguing our country, all right, but are hunted down and massacred and killed like they have killed so many in the past. So we are going to protect all those. So you all of us have a responsibility to be law enforcement agents, and that is what it's supposed to be. So when there is anything, a police officer shoots at any activist, kill him, document. We are supposed to be untouchables because we speak. We are the eye. We are the voice of the voiceless. Yes, the legs of those who are physically challenged. And so many things for society. But those who think they own Nigeria have arrogated the power of taking life from us. And that is why you see a lot of us are on exile, scattered around the world. But here's a good news for Nigerians. And here's a bad news for the police officers who have taken it upon themselves, the soldiers who go out there on shooting spree, like what they did in Okwama, and then when they leveled a whole village because some soldiers on illegal duty came and to steal oil in their community, the community resisted them, and they came and flattened the whole community, destroyed everything, killed a lot of people, women and children, drove them inside the bush as if they were in a war against another country. Yes, that's what is happening in Nigeria. But bad news for them. We'll be documenting you. So when we rise up and we take our country back, we're going to hold you accountable. And that is, I tell you that is what is going to happen. So, and if you are a military commander today, like the chief of defense staff, I'm talking about Christopher Musa. All right, I've read the statement. These are my words now. Christopher Musa, you are not going to be the first and the last chief of defense staff. There were people who were there before you, years before you. They all retired. Today, they are ordinary citizens. So if you are behaving like you are misbehaving, making political statements, away from your constitutional duty, you don't even know your job. As a soldier, that your job is not to serve a government, not to be subservient to a government. Your job is to defend the territorial integrity, defend the state. You see, because you don't understand the difference between the state and the government. The state is a different thing. The government is a different thing. Government comes and goes, but the state stays. Your job is supposed to be to defend the state, defend the territorial integrity of Nigeria. But you have chosen to become a politician. You defend politicians. You defend the drug dealer holding Nigeria hostage. You defend the terrorists. You are there. You were there. Yes, the minister of defense that you take instruction from. You know him that he's a mastermind of banditry in Nigeria. Yes, you could not patriotically stand against his appointment. You swallowed it, and he takes instruction from you. And you say you are fighting terrorism. I wonder how you are fighting the terrorism. With terrorist, you are working with a terrorist, taking instruction from a terrorist. How are you going to secure Nigeria? You are joking, and that is exactly. So the people of Nigeria, come on. The time to conquer fear is now. We don't have any other country but Nigeria. Now, let me remind you, if Nigeria melts down and goes down, I am telling you, no country is going to take Nigerians in. Nigeria was programmed, though even if illegally or by accident, to play the same role the United States of America is playing for North America and the rest of the world. We did it up to the late 80s. Yes, where we went all over Africa to quench wars, to stop wars, to stop the destruction of Africa. How come the giant died and is laying prostrate? Something is not right. It is the choice that we have been making, and it is haunting us. The cumulative effect is what we are suffering. Hey, how are you? Thank you, thank you. God bless you too. God bless you. Yes, Daniel Lemons, God bless you. And a happy new year. So thank you very much for joining in this early broadcast. So I'm going to come and do our regular broadcast later in the day. Yes, so this is the end of this broadcast. Please do us a favor. If you are joining us for the first time, subscribe, comment, share your opinion, tell us what we need to do to get our message clearer, and then to improve, our delivery and also expand our horizon. We thank you and we love you. Bye for now.